Okay, let's do another problem without tiles. Okay, variables on both sides. Okay, we have negative 3x plus 9 equals x plus 1. A little reminder, guys. Every problem we are doing in this lesson, there is a problem, the same exact problem on the Google slide lessons that you did, okay? So if it looks like you're doing a confusing problem in this nearpod and you want to see it visually, go back to your 2 Google slides we just did. Okay, I pulled the problems from there on purpose. Okay, but let's try to do this without the tiles. Okay, negative 3x plus 9 is equal to x plus 1. Okay, our first goal is to get the x's on one side. Okay, I'm going to think of this, I could think of it as a negative 3x, but I'm going to think of it as a subtracted 3x. And I'm going to think of this as an added x. So I want to get rid of one of them. I'm just going to get rid of my subtracted 3x. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of my subtracted 3x by adding 3x to both sides. Notice I'm putting my x terms underneath my other x terms. See, I'm keeping my like terms lined up together. Okay, when I do this, 3x minus 3x, negative 3x plus positive 3x goes away. So I am left with 9 on the left. On the right side, I have x plus 3x. Remember, if there's no number in front of the x, it's understood to be a 1 in front of the x. So think of that as 1x plus 3x is 4x. We still have the plus sign and the 1. Okay, so we have 9 equals 4x plus 1. Okay, we want to now get the number that's added to x out of the way. So we want to get rid of the added 1 by subtracting 1 from both sides. Okay, so on the left I have 9 minus 1 is 8. On the right side, my 1 minus 1 is 0. It goes out, so I'm left with 4x. So I have 8 is equal to 4 times x. Okay, last step is to get rid of the multiplied number. My multiplied 4, I need to divide by 4. Both sides. It's always both sides. So 4 divided by 4 on the right is 1. Okay, so we're left with 1x, which is just x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 2 is equal to x. Okay, now this is the easier way to do it. Because I had a negative term, x term, and a positive x term, I'll give you a little hint. It's easier to get rid of the negative one or the subtracted one, whichever way you think of it. So if you have a negative one and a negative x term and a positive x term, get rid of the negative one. But I'll show you if you wanted to get rid of the other one instead. I'm trying to get you guys to avoid as many negatives as you can. Okay, so let's say I wanted to get rid of the x instead of the negative 3x. Okay, x is being added, so I need to subtract 1x. Remember, that's really 1x. So if I'm going to subtract 1x, that goes out on the right. On the left, I have negative 3x minus 1x. Treat that as an addition problem. Treat that as a negative 3x plus a negative 1x is a negative 4x. Okay, plus 9 equals 1. Okay, negative 4x plus 9 is equal to 1. We need to get rid of the added 9 by subtracting 9 from each side. Okay, 9 minus 9 goes out. Negative 4x is on the left. Here we go again, 1 minus 9. If that confuses you, think of it as 1 plus negative 9. Okay, a 1 added to a negative 9 is negative 8. Okay, now we get rid of the multiplied number, the negative 4, by dividing by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. Okay, so 1x, or x. A negative 8 divided by a negative 4 is a positive 2. See, we get the same answer. So it doesn't matter which way you do it, but regardless, to get rid of one of your x terms, if something's added, you could get rid of it by subtracting. If something's subtracted, you could get rid of it by adding. Okay, but if it was me, if I had a negative x term and a positive x term, I would get rid of the negative 1 instead. But either way is perfectly fine.